Hello everyone, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the LINNER NC80. These are active noise canceling over-ear headphones that are also high-res audio certified. So this passes a certification from Sony that says it has a wide frequency range and has enough detail that you can hear sound very clearly and distinctly if you have a high-res certified track in the first place on your device. It retails for $150, which seems a little steep compared to other ANC headsets, but then again, the high-res audio certification is part of the reason why it's a bit more expensive. You can consider them to be more premium and audiophile grade, catered towards those who really care about the sound. Packaging here is pretty professional. LINNER does specialize in ANC technology, so many of their other versions and models also have active noise cancellation on board. On the back we have just an image of the headsets, and inside we have just a hello thank you card right on top that is printed in full color, giving you a diagram of what the headset looks like, and then going through some of the quick specifications. We have just the headsets right on top, which we'll take a closer look at in a second, and it also uses just micro USB to charge up in around 2 hours. There's also a soft carrying pouch, which you can get to protect the headsets when you're traveling or on the go. A quick look at the design of the headphones first. They actually are pretty lightweight. They're smaller than I expected looking just at the diagrams here, but they fit pretty snugly, they're comfortable, but they also make it easy to travel with. As far as build is concerned, they're made out of a fusion between fabric materials, synthetic leather, as well as aluminum accents along the sides. So overall construction is good, but it's not outstanding. You can also adjust the headband here just by extending the arm like so. The arm is made out of a one-piece aluminum, so pretty good construction there. And as a very quick size comparison, here it is next to the Bluedio Turbine T3s, which you can see are much larger in terms of overall dimensions. They're also heavier, which makes them more hefty when you're traveling or on the go. These feel like you're wearing almost nothing when you are using them, which is good. They're comfortable. But at the same time, they rest more on your ears as opposed to being completely over your ears. Moving into performance, battery life is excellent on the NC80. In fact, it's rated for 35 hours of continuous playback using wireless Bluetooth without active noise cancelling turned on. In my testing, I've played it back already for over 20 hours, and the battery life still seems to have about a 20% charge, so indeed, the life is very long compared to other headsets, which typically get only 20 to 24 hours. So a great battery life despite the fact that the size of the headsets is really small and compact. Something else about the features that I only realized now is what's known as hybrid active noise cancelling. And what that hybrid means is, as opposed to cancelling out all the sound, there's also a mode that allows you to amplify the ambient sound. This is a feature that was introduced just a few months ago by some other companies like Sennheiser on their smart Bluetooth headsets. Basically, if you tap on the touch-sensitive controls here, it will momentarily decrease the sound or volume of your music and try to amplify everything around you, including your own voice. How it does that is it uses the 4 microphones built in for noise suppression and enhances that so that everything becomes clearer and louder. It's actually a very cool effect because as you're talking, it seems and feels like your voice is amplified, you're able to hear yourself much better. This would be actually quite useful if you are, let's say, playing back music and all of a sudden you want to hear a conversation, or if someone is talking to you, you can just tap on that to amplify the sound as opposed to decrease it. The active noise cancellation also has 2 levels or 2 different modes. There's a high, which suppresses sound up to 99%, which is very impressive. In fact, I think that's the highest rating that I've seen. Other manufacturers claim up to 95%. I haven't seen 99% yet. And there's also a low rating that will still suppress larger sounds like engines, but it's not going to be quite as effective. So you can cycle through 2 different levels, which is also very cool. So the overall layout of having the touch controls in conjunction with the physical hardware keys for changing volume I found to be very intuitive, and within just a few minutes I got used to them, so no complaints there. When it comes to the sound quality, I was also fairly impressed. One thing I do want to point out is that these do have voice commands or voice prompts, so when you turn them on, when you adjust the volume, when you change the ANC level, it actually will tell you that you're doing that. However, it seems like you're unable to control the volume of the voice prompts. I say that because they're actually quite loud, so when it says powering on or ANC at high mode, it actually is quite jarring. So it would be nice if you could mute these voice commands, or if you can turn down the volume, because right now whenever you do something like change the ANC level, it really kind of shouts in your ear, which I don't really love about that software component. But otherwise, the sound quality is indeed excellent. They are high-res audio certified for a reason. Once paired, even using Bluetooth, if you play and pause the music and listen really closely, you won't hear any static or any distortion. It's synced perfectly with the video that you're playing on screen if you're watching a movie clip. Furthermore, these headphones offer a pretty good bass response, I would say. They're not too bass heavy compared to, let's say, larger studio headphones or maybe larger speakers, but they definitely are prominent. And if you're listening to action movies, thrillers, or soundtracks with maybe drum beats, EDM music, you'll definitely hear it. It's going to thump in the lower frequencies. And I think it has a pretty overall pleasant sound balance between the lows as well as the mids and highs. Noise cancellation also works really well. Out of the many pairs I've tested, these come the closest to matching what Bose and Sennheiser has on their more expensive headsets, which is really saying a lot. And the most impressive thing is you don't really get that stuffy pressure feel with cheaper active noise cancelling headsets, where the effect is very intense and it can almost give you a slight headache when you first put it on. These, they feel very comfortable. It doesn't give your ears extra pressure when ANC is turned on, and the quality of the music also doesn't degrade quite as much. I also want to point out that if you pair it with iOS or Android, you also get the battery percentage that shows up on the top of your device. So over here you can see we're connected using Bluetooth, and this is the battery remaining on the headphones right now, and this is the battery on my tablet. So it does give you another indicator, which I find to be quite helpful. And the touch controls work really well when it comes to playing and pausing the music. So again, double tapping will resume playing, tap on it again, and it pauses the sound there. Other quick observations. So plugging it into a 3.5mm cable, so without using Bluetooth, takes no power at all. So if your battery is dead, you can still use it to listen to music this way. Also, you can still use noise cancellation even when you have a cable plugged in, but with the cable plugged in, you're unable to control the level of noise cancellation. You can only turn it on or turn it off. And you also don't get that reverse ANC function, which we saw with the Bluetooth mode. So for some of those other advanced features, you do need to use Bluetooth, but for basic ANC, you can have it on or off, even when plugged in directly to a device. I also want to point out a smart feature that these have, which is using the microphones to act as a smart assistant. So if you're connected to an Android or iOS device, you can tap on the power key for 1 second, and afterwards you can simply say Siri or Hello Google and do a command. It actually works really well. So the microphones are usually turned off just to conserve on battery and to prevent accidental triggers, but once you're paired to your device, you can leave your device in another room, simply tap on the power key now once and say, okay Google, and you can actually use the headphones to do things like set an alarm or search up Google, which is actually very cool. It turns these into basically smart headphones. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the LINNER NC80 active noise cancelling Bluetooth headphones. I have to say that for $150, I was initially a little bit skeptical just because the price is on the higher side. Many of the other low-cost ANC headphones we've tested retail for about $50 to $60, but I have to say the price is actually really worthwhile because of all the unique features that they've built in, from the touch controls to the monitor function. The opposite of ANC, basically surrounding sound amplification, is really useful when you're walking down a street and you want to hear something or you want to talk to someone. In addition to the touch controls, the really lightweight but comfortable form factor, the long 35-hour battery life, the great audio quality as a whole with surprisingly good bass in particular, clarity of sound, and of course the ANC still working really well. So all of these contribute to an experience that I think is kind of unrivaled for a pair of headphones for under $200. I have to say, if you're looking for something that basically ticks all of the boxes when it comes to high-res sound, offering wireless Bluetooth, great battery performance, excellent all-around features, unique functionality, this is definitely the one to take a closer look at, and it's a lot cheaper, in fact, than the competition if you pair it up against a Bose or Sennheiser. So you can check out more details in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. Very impressive, very unique pair of headphones. This has been the LINNER NC80.